Hello and welcome to BizzyWebinar. This is Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb, and we have a few folks here in the office at the BizzyWeb HQ. So thanks to the folks that are here with us, and we'll go through questions and answers as we go through the event and also in person during the event too. So if you are watching live on BizzyWeb.com or in the Hangout, don't forget that you can ask questions via the Q&A app on the screen. And if you do that, the best way to do it is just to go to google.com/+BizzyWeb, or if you go to the post on the BizzyWeb homepage, you'll be able to click on the link where it says Q&A. And now, brand new with Google Hangouts, you don't even need to have a Google account or a Google Plus account. You just need to have a Google account in order to log in and ask questions. So hopefully that'll rouse it up a little bit more for folks that want to join us and hang out with all of our friends here at the BizzyWeb HQ and go through our Q&A as we talk about the Buzz Builders program that we just launched and what you need to know about online marketing in general. So this is intended to be a more in-depth but not so in-depth that you're going to all fall asleep kind of an event. And so as we go through, you're going to learn a lot more about what we think every online marketing program needs to include. So as we bridge through that, you'll have a lot of options to connect up with us and to ask those questions. So what we're going to do today is go through a little bit about BizzyWeb. For those who have been on some of these before, it'll be a little bit of a run through again, but we'll go quickly through that and get right into Buzz Builders. And we're going to talk about two big things inside of Buzz Builders. We're going to look at the 6 essential types of online marketing, what we believe every company needs to consider and do in online marketing. And then we're going to talk about packages that we've rounded up to help our companies either promote, optimize, generate leads, or retain customers in their businesses. This is what we've heard from our clients are the most urgent needs, and we've rounded up a different set of those 6 essential types of online marketing for each of these different packages. So if you mostly need to promote your business, if you mostly need to generate leads, if you're looking to retain your customers and keep growing, or if you just know that you want to rank versus your competition and crush them by optimizing your website and everything else that you do, then the optimized package will be for you. We're going to wrap up at about the halfway point with Q&A and allow folks to ask questions, and then we're going to shut down the broadcast as soon as we've exhausted all the live questions and switch over to the Hangout proper, where you'll be able to ask questions and get tech support live right on the event. At that time, we're also going to open up the floodgates for the chow, and for the folks that are lucky enough to be in here in person, there is such a thing as a free lunch, although you have to listen to me in order to get it. So at 12:30, you're going to hear pizza getting eaten happily by Broadway Pizza, one of our sponsors, and we'll go through more questions and answers and do tech support at that time as well. So let's talk about BizzyWeb, who we are and what we do. We're an online marketing company, of course, and so that's where Buzz Builders is coming from. We do web design, brilliant web design in WordPress, and WordPress is the largest publishing platform on the web. We do WordPress a little bit differently, where we build it to integrate with social media. So as we've built our clients' websites, you can set it up so that when you publish to your website, it auto-publishes to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, integrates with YouTube or House or any of those other crazy places. We build online marketing tools so that you can interact and engage with the folks that you need to most without chasing all over the web. And when we do that, we build up your social media accounts. And so here's examples of a well put together LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, and Twitter account. And all of these accounts have undergone some pretty dramatic changes over the past 2.5, 3 months. And so you'll probably notice that these look different than what you've noticed before. If you haven't spent any time on your social networks, now is definitely the time to consider changing some things, because everything is different and new. So if you look at your Facebook page, or especially if you go to Twitter, you'll probably notice, if you haven't played with it in a while, there's a big blue bar across the top, that your logo looks weird, that everything's kind of funky. Now is the time to take a look at that, and we have options to help you do that if you need it. Here's what we're here for, though, and that's Buzz Builders. I do have the Senior Vice President of Product Development and Management Jen Meyer on the event as well, so we might defer to her to answer some questions on how BuzzBuilders works. But basically what we started with when we created the BuzzBuilders program, and you may, for those astute and or longtime viewers of the BizzyWebinar program might note that these used to be called BuzzBuilders webinars. And so I am going to flub it a bunch of times, I'm sure, because I've been doing it for years, where we've been doing our BuzzBuilders webinars. But about 2.5 months ago, we switched them over to BizzyWebinars because we know that BuzzBuilders is more important as a product set or as a solution set for our clients than anything else. So forgive me if I switch and mix over BuzzBuilders, but this is the Bizzy webinar about BuzzBuilders. So how's that for confusion? BuzzBuilders is built, again, to be an overall system of getting you the tools and information that you need to reach out to your customers. So here's the 6 things that we do inside of online marketing for our clients. So if you don't have dedicated campaigns or dedicated ideas about how to handle search engine optimization, online advertising, social media and social media curation, content, email and email newsletters, this is what we're here to do, and this is what BuzzBuilders is designed to integrate. All of these things have specific uses and needs, and if you go to buzzyweb.com/buzz-builders, you'll see all of that information there, as well as from the homepage of BizzyWeb, you can just click on online marketing. So from here, this is what we believe are the most important things that you need to have after you already have a fantastic website. So if you don't have a website, or if you're looking for a landing spot, we should talk about that, but this assumes that you already have online marketing, or you already have an online home on the web. So first up inside of these tools that we know that we need to deliver is search engine optimization. So SEO, or search engine optimization, is a way to get your content and your person found online. There's a number of things that you need to do in order to get found online, but think of it as ways to make your website and you personally more relevant to Google. There really aren't any other players in SEO. You'll have people and folks tell you that Bing or Yahoo or a lot of those other companies are relevant in online marketing. They are to the same extent that mosquitoes are relevant to boating. They're just kind of out there, and it's something that you have to sort of think about. But give you an idea, the #1 search engine, of course, is Google. The #2 is actually YouTube, which is owned by Google. YouTube has more traffic than Yahoo, Bing, and all of the other search engines that aren't Google combined. And Google is about 2 to 3 times bigger in search volume than YouTube. So this is where we find that we spend most of our time. Google also spends a good amount of time messing with the relevancy and with the algorithms to keep making the content that they deliver more relevant to search. And where you'll see a lot of the interesting stuff happen is, especially on Bing and Yahoo and those other companies that haven't really kept changing things up, it's easier to game the system, and so you'll find that there's a higher ratio of spam and junk links on the other search networks. Google keeps messing with things in order to focus more on relevant content and content that you can know and trust. So with the latest Hummingbird update that they made about 6 months ago, prior to that there was Panda and Penguin. Each time they've eliminated a lot of the tricks that search engine optimization folks use to help you to rank better against competition. This is tricky for small businesses, but great for searchers, because what you need most is to have content on your website that focuses in on what you do. People aren't interested in who has the most backlinks on their website that are the same color as the backgrounds, for example. That's one of the first things that Google killed. But what you have now is content that helps you get found online. So in every search engine optimization package, or as we do search engine optimization for our clients, we work to optimize your content so that you're telling Google and you're telling people that are visiting your website what you want to rank for. So if you're a real estate agent, one of the things that you'd want to do is focus on content that's relevant to folks that are searching for homes. So get into the frequently asked questions, get into the things that folks talk to you about every time you sit down with them or show them a home. For other folks that are on the line, and we have a number of viewers now, so thanks for the folks that are online with us. For your company, what do people ask you all the time? Make sure that you have lots of content around that, and try to get into people's heads to figure out what would they search for if they were looking for me for the very first time. Look at your competition, search for yourself, search for your products and services, and make sure that your website has lots of content that includes those keywords or phrases in order to rank well. Now there's a whole bundle of things that you need to know about search engine optimization, and in fact I've covered those in past Bizzy webinars. But the big things that you need to know are you don't want to over inundate your site with keywords. So if, for example, you are in real estate saying I'm Minneapolis St. Paul's best real estate agent because real estate is great in the real estate world because I'm great at real estate. That's called keyword stuffing. And Google will actually downgrade you or outright ban you if you try to game the system. There's one thing to be excited about what you do. It's another thing to be able to share and to be able to connect with people that are looking for your information. But if all you do is repeat yourself and try to trick people into ranking your site, you're going to rank lower, and that's not going to help you. Your meta titles and descriptions are the most important and interesting parts of your content. It's also one of the easiest things to miss. Basically what meta titles and descriptions do is it tells Google what to display whenever they find a match with the keywords that people are typing and your website's content. Think of it as your chance to give a mini advertisement to entice people to click on your link. So you need to say, click now for X, Y, and Z, or the world's best blah, 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 or whatever you're trying to reach. So as you're reaching out to people, this is your sales pitch to tell them why you're connecting on your website. For example, your website might have a page called About Us. About Us is a terrible title on Google because if people are Googling through your content and they happen to run up and all they see is About Us, that doesn't tell them anything. However, if you see search engine optimization and marketing content programs with Bizzy Web, that's what would encourage you more to click. Same thing with descriptions. This is your little bit of extra context to tell them why they should click. So the more you can do that and the more you can reach out to folks, the better off you're going to be. Building links to trusted partners is also very helpful in SEO. That means that you should have links from high quality places on the web. So for example, Twitter, Google+, Yahoo, all of the social networks are considered trusted places to find information. If you have links coming to your website or backlinks from those high quality places, Google ranks that and says, well, they must be pretty useful if this big fancy place linked over to them, or if this high page rank place linked to them. There's an entire methodology on that, and again, Google keeps chipping away at backlinking as a strategy. And so a lot of folks you may have seen, and if you have a well-trafficked website, you've probably seen takedown requests or unfollow requests. People are trying to remove some of those backlinks because if you have too many backlinks to your website, that's also a high indicator of a possibility of spam or low-quality search engine optimization. So the upshot in all of this is you really kind of just need to work with somebody that knows what they're doing, and don't get too out of hand or freak out about it too much, because it all kind of comes down to having quality content that's developed and presented in the way that Google's expecting you to present it. Next up is online advertising. So advertising is what I actually say on this page, but online advertising is a very important part of the online marketing mix. Think of advertising as the way to make sure that your message reaches as many people as you can afford to show them. There's a lot of things involved with online advertising. One of my favorite parts of online ads, and this includes pay-per-click or pay-per-link advertising, such as Google AdWords or even Facebook ads. It's a lot of the same strategies as search engine optimization, where you need to get into the brains of the folks that are most likely to buy your product and services or to connect with you. And what you get to do with online advertising is be much more proactive and much more immediate in your results. So if you set a budget of $50 a day, you can A/B test or try two versions of a message, and whichever of those messages gets the best results or the most clicks or the most of whatever you're trying to get your content to do, you can just use that version of the content. So you can try putting the action words at the front, you can try putting the action words at the back, you can try 3 different versions of titles for the content that you're asking folks to click on, and you can actually look and research for what some of those are. If you're brand new in online advertising, there's actually some really neat things happening at Google right now where they'll guide you through it and set you up with a professional. Of course, BizzyWeb also has professionals on staff, which is why we are offering our online advertising program. We are AdWords certified, Jennifer reminded me, and so what that means is that we have people that are much smarter than myself working on your Google AdWords. A lot of folks, especially if you're working with like a Dex Online or one of the other online directories or companies like that, they'll encourage you to just put all your money into online advertising. BizzyWeb views online ads and pay-per-click as a strategy and not as a business model. So what we do is we really view this as an accelerator pedal for whatever else you're going to do. If you already have great content, if your website is well filled out and you've got a great site that gives information and helps you to convert customers, then online advertising can amplify that result and bring more people into your fold. It also lets you play with models and figure out exactly what your best online advertising messages are going to be. You can actually use online advertising to even guide your content because, again, you're looking for what has the most interest. And so with Google AdWords tools, you can find out what the big trending topics are, what the highest ranking terms are, and what has the most competition as far as keywords in your industry. And I could give you a long link to the Google AdWords tool, but if you Google Keyword Tool and follow that link, you can enter in your company, your website, your industry, and Google will actually give you a listed ranking of all of the sites and keywords that you should be considering. Very easy. That part's free. Of course, they want you to spend some cash. There's also setting up testing and retargeting where you can send things to go from place to place, but it gets very complicated quickly, and that's why we have professionals handling it for us. Social media is also incredibly important, and one of the things that BizzyWeb has done for a very long time. With social media, it's important to think of all of your online accounts as additional ways to reach out to the people that you most need to connect with, where they prefer to spend their time. A lot of us spend a significant portion of our weeks attending networking events or going to places and shaking hands and doing stuff that you need to connect up with people on. The in-person networking is brilliant and wonderful. Think of this as a way to do this virtually with tens or thousands of people all at once without you having to be there personally or connect. So a well-timed and well-thought-through post has the opportunity to reach thousands of people, and if you do a brilliant B&I commercial, you're only going to reach 20 to 30 people that are in that room. So this is where you can get more leverage in your life. When you set up all your accounts, you need to start playing with it and need to connect with the folks that are out there. Competitive analyses of what you've got out there and what other folks are doing is really important, and that's part of what our strategies include. Local listings are another big thing, and for folks that haven't heard this before, this would be worth jotting down. Go to getlisted.org, G-E-T listed.org, and you'll see a link that'll take you to your company's online search results. What you do is you enter in your company name and your zip code, and it puts it into, and it shows you a ranking of how you're showing up on Google Plus local, Yahoo local, Bing local, Foursquare, Facebook, and all of those other important places. The ones that I've already ticked off there are the ones that we mostly focus on because there's Hot Frog and Y pages and all kinds of other things, but a lot of those are paid content. What you want to make sure that you show up for is when people are searching for you online or when they're connecting or looking for referrals, that you're there and that it's easy to find you and connect with you. When you set up a local listing, you show up higher than your competition if those folks are physically located closer than you. Even if a competitor of yours is spending a lot of money in online marketing and advertising, if your client is searching in front of your building, you should show up on top. So that's a great way to help level the playing field, especially where it matters most for real estate and for a lot of brick and mortar folks. You want to get found where you physically are, and that's a great way to get there. Once you decide on a social media strategy, it's great to create a content and editorial calendar and integrate all of that social media with your website by auto-posting that content. That's one of the things that BizzyWeb does best. If you focus on all of your content on your website, it gets you great content strategy, it gets you great search engine optimization, it automatically posts to all of your social networks, and it helps you to reach out to where you need to be. Content is the next thing you need to absolutely be careful with or take advantage of. When you create an online strategy, think about what your prospects most want to read. There's 4 stages of online marketing, and that's engage, inform, capture, and convert. Inside of everything that you do, you should be trying to engage your potential clients and prospects by being interesting, helping them find what they need, and sharing with them that you understand what their needs are. The old adage that people that sell drill bits don't really sell drill bits, they sell holes. So what's the hole that you fill for your clients? If you can work on the content that answers that question, that's where you can get to the next stage in engaging people by informing them with helpful tips and tricks. Once you give them informational articles, how to turn your website around for BizzyWeb, you know, some of the tips and tricks to clean up your house or remove clutter in order to have it show better and sell more quickly. Give them that information that proves 2 things. First, that you have their best interests at heart, and second, that you're an expert in what you're doing. Then you can move on to capturing their information by giving them that link, that next step, by encouraging them to come on by, to say hello to you, to give you a call, to send you an email. From there, you can continue engaging and informing with those folks until you've converted them into whatever you want them to do, which is going to be either a new customer, having them join your lists, having them like you on Facebook so that you can continue to engage and inform them. So there's a number of different levels of engage, inform, and capture to get you to convert. And then integrate your content with all of your marketing. What you almost need to come up with is a library or a farm of everything that you know that your clients need to know. Easiest for a lot of my clients is to start with frequently asked questions. A lot of them already have an FAQ on their website because they hate it when people keep asking them those questions. Well, there's a reason they're frequently asked questions, but that's because everybody's looking for that information from you. So make a post about all of those, and it'll do 2 things. It'll decrease the amount of calls that you get on that particular issue, but it'll also prove to your clients that you know what you're talking about and you can meet their needs. Email campaigns are a great way to take advantage of this explosion in social media. Everybody's kind of getting burnt out on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and all those other crazy places, and so we're seeing less quality and quantity of email marketing. The more you can reach out to people where they spend their time, the better off you're going to be. So if you can create an email campaign that would either push content out to your networks or take advantage of everything that you're already doing and proactively reach them in their inbox, the better you're going to be. One of the things that we like doing at BizzyWeb is creating drip campaigns. So if you run into someone and grab their business card in a networking event, if they've connected up with you or called you somehow, you can send them a series of messages that are designed to get them to the next step in your sales process. All of your online marketing, your entire website, everything that you do can be viewed as a funnel through which you're guiding folks to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, until all of a sudden they become your client. So drip campaigns are great ways to hit them with 3 or 4 proactive messages. Again, they shouldn't be incredibly self-serving, just like any content or social media marketing strategy. You don't want to just keep hitting them with, for the next 5 minutes, you can buy this, blah, blah, blah. What you need to build them towards is, here's 3 things that you need to know, here's the next 4 things that you need to have, and here's what you need to be in order to get what you want. And then if you can build that story and help them take those steps and start walking down the path to becoming your client, they're much more likely to keep taking those additional steps until they've done what you want them to do and they're part of your business. Design all of your email, however, for mobile. I have an article that I promoted and actually a BizzyWebinar that I did a couple weeks ago about how to design for mobile first, especially in email marketing. When you do send out messages, realize that now instead of having 10 or 15 words that people are previewing in your email, they're now seeing less than 6 words because they're looking at it on an iPhone or an Android. If you can't capture people's attention inside of 3 to 6 words, you're going to want to refine and adjust your messaging so that you can. Because if you make them click, if you make them drill down, you're just enhancing the opportunity for them to delete the entire message, and that doesn't help you at all. And the worst thing you could do is send them things that just aren't relevant to them. And so if you have things that are overly self-centered or focusing in on you and what you can give them, nobody's going to care if you send out a drip mail campaign about the 5 things that you need to know about why I'm so cool. What they need to know is the 5 things that you need to know if you're considering doing what I need you to do. Taking that next step, doing business with us, making a choice, adding or selecting a realtor, however that needs to be.
May I interject?
Yes.
So email campaigns, and we don't have a bullet on this, are also really great for promoting events that your company is going to be exhibiting at, as well as any products or services or promotions or things that are new for your company. So, you know, it doesn't all have to be drip. Drip has very, very good uses in certain contexts, but there are also other options that you can use for email campaigns.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jen. And so with all of this, just make sure that you're keeping it short, sweet, and actionable, and thinking about how you can take that next step and make it as easy as possible for people to want to work with you. Email newsletters are, of course, the next and final thing that we talk about here. And think of newsletters as a way to give more story more often versus just direct emails. So there's 2 different types of email marketing. There's the actionable emails that you're sending out that are purpose-driven. They're either drip or, thank you, Jen, they are event-based in mind. This is one-off things that you want people to know. Email newsletters are intended to continue to deepen relationships with your existing clients by sharing with them basically what's on your mind. So you go in and you integrate it with the rest of your content. You can either automate that from your blog, which again is, I think, a brilliant strategy for making sure that you're using every piece of your content or every minute of your time as wisely as possible. A great strategy that we encompass at BizzyWeb is we have regular blog posts that we publish. Those blog posts automatically get cross-posted to our social media, and then once a month we wrap all of our blog posts up into a newsletter in case you missed any of that content, and we send that out to our list of contacts and clients and folks that have already said, yes, I'm interested in whatever you guys have to say because you usually know more about it than I do, and I don't have time to learn online marketing. I just want to have you tell me what I need to know. So that's how it works. Keep your company top of mind is the best way that works. So a lot of our clients that we do email marketing programs for, they just want to keep reminding people that they're around. So for example, one of our clients is an HR marketing person who does a lot of hiring. She just needs all of the big hiring execs to remember that her company's out there. And so she sends a monthly newsletter that integrates with the blog post to say, you know, here's what we've got. If it's interesting content for that person, awesome. She almost doesn't care because she just wants to see her name in front of those people at least once a month so that they know, oh yes, I need to do a hiring, I need to hire this position. I need to call our client. So another thing to think about is it's tempting to do this, but don't deliver everything in that email. It's okay to ask them to click. It's a lot better to give them the highlights in that email message and let them drill down as they wish versus making them scroll and scroll and scroll. Especially think about this on an iPhone or an Android. Scroll and scroll and scroll to find content. And so give them the top 5 things that they want to know. Give them a paragraph apiece about what they're going to learn if they click it, and let them drill down further. That also helps you by telling you what is most interesting and informative to your clients. So how do you wrap all this up into one big thing? We have 4 packages that we work on, and we've based these again around what we think our clients most often need in their businesses. So these are the packages, and again, this isn't intended to be a sales pitch. This is intended to be, this is what we think most companies need to do, and this is the roundup of what they need to do inside of each of these 4. So for promotion, you need to mostly focus on online advertising and social media. So you can build email campaigns to drive traffic, but then follow it up with SEO, search engine optimization, and content to round out those results. So after working with our experts and building this out and testing our programs, we've come up with a basic promotional package of about 40% of this is going to be ads to drive leverage traffic, 25% of your content is social, 15% email, 10% content, and 10% SEO. So if you want to promote your business, consider taking those actions in those ratios to get the best result. If, however, you want to optimize your website, 70% of that content should be in SEO, or 70% of that time should be on SEO. That's search engine optimization, or making sure that you have great content on your site. So you'll see that between SEO itself, the options and connections of making those links, tailoring your content so that it shows up as well as possible on search engines. The other 20% is content. So between those two, 90% of what you need to do if you're looking to optimize your website is work it and connect up. Generate that content to drive those results, and then we back it up with some support in online marketing and advertising, mostly to use as barometers for where we need to spend our time on content. If you need to generate more leads, focusing on search engine optimization and online advertising is probably a good bet. Again, about 40% ads, because you can drive those leads, and if you can say, I spent $50 on my advertising campaign and I got back $150 worth of leads, or I got one extra client and that extra client generated $12,000 in additional revenue for me, that makes it a lot easier to justify that budget. One of the nice things about advertising that isn't as easy as anywhere else is you actually can designate some ROI to this. I say I spent $100 or I spent $10,000 and I made $200 or $50,000, and so I know that this is a worthwhile business strategy for me. Creating social media campaigns and marketing, and then supporting that with email newsletters, campaigns, and content. Again, we're trying to generate leads, so how do you fill that bucket faster inside of these networks? So that's the ratios that we've set up for that. And then finally, if you're looking to just retain customers, we set it that about, it's a pretty actually even mix between email, social, content, email newsletters, and search engine optimization. What you need to do is keep reaching out to the people that matter most to you and get those folks to do more with you. So if you're looking to retain those customers or deepen relationships, all of that content helps you drive what you need to do. Any big questions on this? I've gone through a bunch of content today, and this is pretty high-level stuff with a lot of sprinkled in detail. I'm very interested to hear if anyone online has any questions, and specifically if anyone in the room has questions, because I'd love to answer those while we're still recording. We'll remind you that we're recording for the next 5 or so minutes, so no salty language unless you want it to be out there for the rest of the world on YouTube. But if you do have specific questions, again, you can go into the BizzyWeb website, click on the article, and right underneath there's a couple of ways to get in. Either you click on the YouTube link inside of the embedded Hangout and ask questions using the Q&A tool, or feel free to submit those questions by joining the Hangout. And I know we do have one person that's on the Hangout Live that's going to help us out in a little bit. But as we bridge this in, it's important that we help you as much as possible. So this is your time. I'm going to keep going through the rest of my slides while I wait for those questions to get loaded in. And so if you do have any, think of those now. If you do have questions, this is your time. But in wrap, again, remembering that BizzyWeb is a web design company that's built to handle all of these content pieces. So once you've got your website put together that handles all of this stuff, then the next step is to work on your content strategy, on your online marketing strategy. BizzyWeb can now help you with that in our Buzz Builders programming. We've got hosting packages as well that'll help out our clients. If you are having issues with your web host, if your website is slow, especially if you're on WordPress, we have tools that'll help you build your business faster, better, stronger, meaner, with the ability to work with real human beings that have physical addresses and aren't in Bangladesh. We actually help you out from here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and sometimes in Wisconsin. So we can build all of this stuff. I still think it's funny that Jessica insisted on putting in my picture in here, and we've got new pictures coming up. But yes, this is me. I'm a real human being, and we can help you with everything that you've seen here today. And then be sure to join us every Wednesday. We have free webinars every Wednesday from noon to 1. The first half hour or so is content. The second half hour is open Q&A and helping folks that are either in person or texting us or chatting with us over the web. Next week, we're going to talk about how to craft an effective call to action to drive people to do what you actually want them to do on your website. Some folks will tell you that you have to have up to 3 calls to action on every single page and post of your website. We're going to show you how to do that without spamming and making it as easy as possible for casual browsers, which encompasses the entire web, to take the next step and do what you need them to do. So register at BizzyWeb.com/BB in advance. That also gives you the opportunity to ask questions so that we can make sure that we're hitting what you need, but would love to connect up with you and to keep going. That is us, and I'm going to wait one more moment. If you do have any questions, please log those into the Q&A tool. We are standing by. If not, you can also join us by clicking the link right underneath the embedded video and join us live to ask questions, because we're going to stop the broadcast in about 25 seconds, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A here. Is there anything that the folks in the room want to know or have recorded for posterity? Excellent. Well, I'm going to let us go then. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you very much for joining us this week. And next week, again, remember, we're going to talk about crafting calls to action at noon Central Time. Until then, remember, at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a great week.